Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I want to thank you so much for coming to this press conference this afternoon. Today is a very great day at North Carolina Central University and in our athletic community as we introduce and celebrate a new, highly accomplished member of the university's senior leadership team. I would like to begin by thanking and recognizing members and partners of NCCU who served on the search committee for this key role at our university. I especially express my deepest gratitude to the chair of the search committee, Mr. Courtney Crowder, for his dedication and diligence in leading this very effort. For more than 111 years, North Carolina Central University has distinguished itself as a stellar academic institution. And we have also developed and nurtured an athletics program that has educated and trained numerous gifted student athletes and scholars who have excelled on and off various fields of play. In 2011, NCCU made the bold transition to move into Division I athletics and Mid-Eastern Athletics Conference, MEAC. Some 11 years later, our athletics programs have won championships, and our student athletes have earned some of the university's highest academic honors. It is upon this storied legacy that today we announce the appointment of the next athletic director, who is seasoned, skilled, a visionary, and who soars in the areas of intercollegiate athletics, fundraising, and transformational leadership. Dr. Louis Perkins is an outstanding administrator who has served as athletics director at National Collegiate Athletic Association Division I schools, including Howard University, Delaware State University, and University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. He joins us from Morgan State University, where he is currently Assistant Vice President for Development. As a former student athlete, Dr. Perkins is a passionate and dynamic leader who is fueled by building winning programs focused on student success. Best of all, he is a double eagle, having earned his undergraduate and 2 graduate degrees here at NCCU. This homecoming of sort for Dr. Perkins brings him back to a place where he was not only cultivated as a student, but also grew to become a distinguished athletics and development administrator regionally and nationally. Today, I'm thrilled to welcome Dr. Louis Skip Perkins to the nest, and well assured that he will create a world-class athletics program and instill excellence among our student athletes, our coaching staff, our athletic staff, and all other campus stakeholders who have vested interest in our programs. Congratulations to Dr. Perkins. Please join me in giving him a warm round of applause and a warm welcome back to the Eagle Nest. Dr. Perkins, will you please join me at the podium? I want to give you a new NCCU hat. I'm sure you have a couple of them already.
Yes, sir.
But this is a brand new one, and welcoming you back as the next athletic director.
Thank you, sir.
And of course, you also have the Eagle pin.
Yes, I'm gonna let you.
And we know that you are going to continue to soar to the highest heights. Should be right here, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And at this time, I'll invite you to make a few remarks.
Thank you again.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. It feels really good to be back at the Nest. This is humbling, exciting, and I am thoroughly honored. Thank yous go out, first of all, to the Chancellor, Car Sports, the search firm. Very rigorous, tough process, but I'm glad to see I'm here now at the podium. I also want to recognize and thank my daughter right there, who's taping right there, Perkins, graduating senior. And I have two other ones, one's at school and one is a new mom, so happy to be a grandfather too. And I also want to thank my frat brothers, Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity. As we all know, Dr. James E. Shepard founded our chapter in 1921 here, so that's always been a big, important, traditional piece to me. And when I think about NCCU, I came here many years ago. I won't tell you my age right now, but I came here many years ago as a boy, but I left a man. And the student-athlete experience I had here meant everything to me. It shaped me in many, many ways. If I think about anything you could say good about me, it's related to my parents, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and North Carolina Central University. It did so much for me. I have a type of coach that instilled in us that motto, excellence without excuse. We didn't do that. He would always say, give me a solution, work harder, those type of things. And it meant so much because there's so many times in life, and I can't wait to get with our student athletes, let them know trials and tribulations, having that mettle, having that resolve will get you through life in many, many different areas, and there will be tough times. So for me, my time on campus was everything. And for someone that was a student athlete, a four-year captain, I guess I didn't want to leave because I stayed 6 more years and got 2 more degrees. So that experience meant everything to me. Next, when I think about the direction of our athletic department, I'm glad to say that the one thing, a specific area that my predecessor, Dr. McCree, which I will always have respect on her name, did very, very well is our academics compliance. Our APR is tremendous. There are no sports that have any issues, any problems, any penalties there. Graduation rate is high, the retention rate is high, and the GPA is above a 3.0. That's tremendous across the board anywhere. It's almost Ivy League type statistics. So I'm glad to be a part of that and looking forward to working with them, because if we can have a 3.0, we can have a 3.25. And we want to make sure our student athletes, our student ambassadors are preparing themselves for life after college. I see a lot of the coaches here, and I think about the different constituent groups I met. The coaches group was probably my favorite. I really loved the ideas, the directions they were trying to go in, and just many times just figuring it out. And they have definitely a lot of roadblocks and hurdles. We all know about the transfer portal, but they all find ways to get it done. And I'm very proud and looking forward to working with that group. And the goal is always, we want to win championships, but I think there's always a saving grace, because you want to win more when you lose against your sister institutions. We always want to do that. And I think the work that Trey has done has been tremendous. 3rd year in, runner-up in the conference, right there, getting close. Lavelle, goodness gracious, he's won so many championships. I don't know if he has enough fingers for those rings. And this year, finishing 3rd. So we have the history and heritage, and it's time to really move that forward. Fundraising and facilities, they've been my calling card for many years in athletics. I remember starting off at St. Augustine's College, where we had a coach in George Williams that had won over 30 national championships, and he didn't even have a track. So one of the first campaigns I got involved in was building the George Williams complex. So that was a track football field. I was able to finish the first phase there, and then I came over here as an assistant athletic director. And that Division II to Division I transition that the Chancellor mentioned was everything. It helped me out my career so much. And at that time, we were a top 25 Division II school. And we were winning 3-4 championships every year, raising money. The 1,000 Eagle campaign was really jumping off. That netted $1 million. We were really in the right direction. And I knew I was doing something right. So I started getting calls about people looking for an athletic director. So I had the opportunity to go to Arkansas Pine Bluff, small town in the SWAC conference, and we were able to build a field house, able to redo the football field. able to receive $1 million gift to build a baseball and softball complex. So I kind of started learning my niche and seeing where I was good at. And then next at Howard, that was a lot of fun too. Great students that made the commitment to being true student athletes, not just in the classroom, which was important, but they wanted that respect on their respective playing field too. And we were able to get about $10 million and redo Bird Gymnasium, 2 full court practice facilities, a locker room for everyone, and an academic center so they could truly be in their craft at all times. And then at Delaware State, wow, interesting too, because technology was a weakness there, but we were able to put video jumbotrons in the basketball arena, volleyball, and football, and baseball, and those type of things went well, and won some championships there, which was really cool. And in Morgan, over the last 2 years, we had 2 transformational gifts, but at any institution where you can raise close to $90 million in 2 years, you know you're doing something right. And that was an awesome experience. Looking forward to competing against them too, though. That's the only thing I would say. I'm looking forward to kicking a little Morgan butt. Me and the president had a little conversation about that when I told him I was coming up here for the press conference. So they've been wonderful for me. But every stop I've been at, I've learned something new. Everywhere I've been, and now I feel like I'm a complete seasoned veteran, and I get to bring everything I've learned, the good and bad, and I get to bring it back home and lift us up to the next level. So I'll end by saying this too. So many higher education veterans have always said the athletic department is the front porch of the school. Now that doesn't mean the tail wags the dog. It just means we have a vital and important job. And one of our jobs is to recruit, showcase, and brand this institution at the highest level. And how do we do that? We follow rules and regulations. We have great people committed to our staff and coaches, and we compete like hell. There's a level, there's a veracity that we fight with all the time, and we have that pride. That pride will permeate all through the campus community, our students, alums, and it's our job to lead. And we have to do that. And I am so excited to be back at Eagles Nest. If you only knew, I know you guys can see me smiling from ear to ear. That's because for me, to have your dream job at 50 means a lot. So I'm ready to get started. I refuse to let the chancellor down. And there's some great people in here that I've been dying to work with for a very long time. So thank you all very much.
Dr. Perkins, how does it feel to be back home?
You know what? It has not really hit me yet. As I was driving up with my daughter, we, chatting in the car, driving around campus, I'm showing her the different buildings, and I showed her where Trey, TJ, and Belle can definitely remember this old Chidley Hall, and I'm trying to get her to understand this is nothing compared to what we stayed at, because there was one dorm for men, and it was the dungeon. And then now to see the beautiful buildings on campus, all the dormitories, it is unreal. And then honestly, we went and grabbed something at Chick-fil-A, and I showed her the old student union compared to the new student union, and she was like, really? I'm like, yes, really, this is what our union looked like. So just to see how Central has grown, the School of Nursing, the School of Business, the law school, it's breathtaking, absolutely breathtaking. And like I said, it still hasn't seeped in like I wanted to, but just ready to hit the ground running. And I want Central to be that household name. You know what I mean? Why can't we be the HBCU Stanford? There's no reason we cannot be.
Dr. Perkins, what's the biggest challenges facing an HBCU school in your estimation?
Honestly, I think it's like many of the other schools. Let's not forget, there's only 28 to 26 schools that actually turn a revenue in the NCAA. So you'd have to probably say funding, revenue generation. So we have to get creative and have as many streams as possible, and we have to raise funds. And that's everybody involved in the process. Coaches, staff, I'm obviously the Chief Development Officer, working very closely with institutional advancement, and we know that our alums will support. I look at the work that Dr. Souble's done already, and we had a giving day that had over 7 figures. So we know folks are connected to us and care. So we have to reach out to them, bring them back to the nest, and garner their support, and also train our students on campus now to be prepared when they graduate that they will give. Increase their participation and just say, students just graduate right away, give something. give back now, so they get in that habit, and they're trained to know that we have to get back to our alma mater at all times.
Dr. Perkins, do you think that, from when you were a student here, when you're on the tennis team, that it's helped, feels to me at least, that HBCUs have gotten more attention in the national spotlight? Do you feel that now coming back here? I know you've worked with several of them across the country, but how do you think that helps, just starting your job here in the top gear?
Absolutely. We have definitely, and you can come up with any other reason you want, just as just time, or better yet, some of the social injustices that have happened over the world recently that we're finally getting our due. But for me, is I don't want it to stop. And it's all a bit of it's just our time. Because we know we've had graduates from the 50s and 60s that have done many things. I mean, there was a time in the 60s when, half the NFL came from black colleges, things like that. So we got to get back to that the best way we can. I give the guy down there at Jackson, Mississippi, a lot of credit for what he's done with PR and marketing. But we have to do our part too. And it's going to take winning. It's going to take elevating our brand and showcasing, exposing us at the high level. And you know what? Everybody loves a winner, but we have to continue to get wins. And obviously enhance, improve our facilities too will help with the recruiting process for the coaches and things like that. But we can compete at that Division I level, but it's going to take us to continue that gravy train, if you will, of getting that money from the corporate space, the business space, because that's where the big money's at, and we can't rely on the state to say just, oh wow, we need this. We have to show them that, guess what, our alums are giving back too. We have corporate partners here too, so why don't you guys meet us halfway and help us out a little bit.
Dr. Perkins, obviously you're a little bit biased because of your experience here at NCCU, but over the course of your career now and your experience you've had, what have you learned from these different HBCUs you've had a chance to stop at, and what do you think you could take that experience with and incorporate here at NCCU?
The one thing I've learned is that we all have kind of a little bit of the same issues. And it wasn't just the issues in HBCUs, it's the issues of a lot of small schools. It's doing the right thing with the funds we have to support the athletic department, while still at the same time making sure that the student experience is connected and successful too. Blending all that and not beating ourselves and being so down that we don't have X, Y, Z, because a lot of schools, whether they're a PWI or HBCU, we all have some deficiencies. You know what I mean? So we have to be creative, and we have to find ways to combat them. Because like I said, it's not even 30 schools that are operating without any support from their institution. There's only a small handful of them. So we have to help ourselves. And that's one thing I've learned. We have to help ourselves, and we have a good group of coaches, and they got to reach out to their constituency group and help raise those funds too. But we all can do it together. So, I learned that we can't operate in silos. We have to all work together to bring this thing to the top level.
And I know you said you didn't want to date yourself, but when you go back to your last stop here with the athletics department, and back when you were a student, you come up to now, what's the biggest change for you?
The biggest change, well, two of them essential I've seen is the campus. It's vibrant. There's a lot of new buildings up. It looks great. That's one, and I would say that the next one is not a change, but the Eagle brand is still strong. Every school I was at, and I competed against, obviously Central, the brand was strong. It meant something. When you see people, I used to get jealous because I couldn't do it on the other sideline. I couldn't show my Eagle pride like I really wanted to, but I think that consistency, our brand is very strong. When Central would come to play Howard, sometimes it'd be more people from Central than it would be Howard. So that always felt great. When it would be the tournament and Lavelle was winning them, I would be like, wow, there's more people here for them than there's anyone else. So those type of things have remained. That's just the one good pleasant surprise that's been consistent, is our brand means something and people know NCCU. They know it. There's no doubt about it.
Coach Kurt Lawson shared with me about North Carolina Central being one of the few schools that are now a USTA hub. Given that tennis, I know that got to be something that's real dear to your heart as well.
Well, that means a lot to me. And Coach Lawson, that was my mentor.
Yes.
And to have that connection with the USTA, to receive those funds, you know, to have more African American young folks playing tennis on this campus is going to be great. I don't know if people really know that Arthur Ashe would come up from Richmond and play on these courts with Joe Williams. The history we have athletically is tremendous. And tennis, those 4 courts have had a lot of great players play on them. And I'm also excited too because I think about all the times that Coach Lawson kicked me in my butt as a student athlete, and now he works for me so I get to return that favor to him. So everybody make sure they tell him that. I'm just playing. That's one of my best friends, man. So I'm looking forward to working with him again. I really am.
Excellent.